Chef. She's had a very successful business over the years. She's had her ups and downs in the business over the years, as many of you have. And recently, just recently, the last 6 to 7 months, really made a decision to leave a full-time job that she felt that she needed to take a couple years back, and made that decision. And when she made that decision, decided she was going to go back to executive. And we have literally here at the home office watched that growth happen February, March, April, May, June, until she's just sitting right now on the cusp of making that goal a reality. So without anything else, I'm going to turn over to Mary, let her tell you her story and what she's doing to develop these new directors in her organization.
So my information is, the middle part is missing, so I'm going to go to my phone, so you too could be an executive sales director. I really wish I had a podium. Oh, yeah. Rich Francis?
How easy. That was easy.
Or just use it. I'll just use this. Perfect. So I've been with Pembrokeshire for 23 years, and this is my 3rd time promoting to Executive Sales Director. So I want to just give you a little inside information that directors leave. So if you didn't know that, just know that. At the height of my Pembrokeshire business, I actually had 30 directors on my team. My team sold $2.3 million in sales one year. I was hovering around 90 to 100,000 a year. Pretty much the extent of my executive directorship. One year I made $107,000 and I had a $12,000 paycheck. Nothing like Nancy Jo Ryan, but I thought it was pretty awesome. So I want to let you know that I have been to the semi-top of the mountain, and then I came back down. In fact, last year my income was the same as it was in my 3rd year of business. So I'm not telling you that to discourage you. I'm telling you that life happens to people, right? Tough things happen. I know that there's a whole lot of people in here that have been around Pembrokeshire for a long time. And last night, I was really had to stop myself from crying because I could feel your pain. Some of you that have been in advanced for 18 years. Michelle, I think I was in the bathroom when Patty Mussolino told you that the thing that you say to people at your shows to go have breakfast with them is exactly what you say to them on your team to develop them into director. So I did quit my job in February. I worked for 4.5 years just because financially we were in the tanker. When the career plan changed a few years ago, for those of you that have been around, I felt like a salmon swimming upstream trying to keep positivity on my team with my directors, and it just really wasn't happening, and I had directors leaving and feeling a little disillusioned. And I really probably started to feel punk myself, just wasn't my inspirational, enthusiastic self. And then I got hit with breast cancer in 2009. So after double mastectomy and going through all of that, I thought, okay, there's got to be something in the water here because 2 of my directors also developed breast cancer. So I was thinking I wasn't recruiting because people didn't want to be on my team. But one of my directors, and a lot of you know her, is Laura Caldwell, actually lost her battle with breast cancer at 48. She was a senior director on my team that had been in advance when she passed away. That was really hard for me. And so, mother-in-law, cancer, passing away. Best friend's husband, cancer, passing away. It was just like a series of things that happened. So I kind of lost my enthusiasm for selling kitchen tools. But to be honest with you and tell you that it was really never fully gone. It was in the back of my mind because I do believe that Pembrokeshire is just the best thing since chocolate. I think it's an amazing company. And I was fortunate enough to know firsthand the advantages of being an executive and earning a good income. I had 3 kids at home. I actually homeschooled when I first started my business, and was homeschooling my kids. And I put them all through college. They played football and sports, and you know how expensive all that is. So it was wonderful to have my business. So I knew that in the back of my mind. I'm going to tell you something. I think I sort of started to feel shameful about losing my executive, feeling shameful about going back to senior, even went as low as advanced. That was shaming. When you would go to national conferences and people would go, "You're in advanced?" You know? And women do this to each other. We don't mean to, but we do it to each other sometimes with the things that we say. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is my mindset change, because I listened to Dr. Brene Brown on the power of vulnerability, and it talks about shame and how we deal with shame. And I really suggest that you get that book or listen to the audio. I was driving back to California to do some shows, and so I had her on audio, and I actually listened to her book twice. So it really helped me with how I viewed myself. You are really going to be stuck unless you view yourself as a person who great things can happen to, and that you deserve it, right? Because sometimes we don't think we deserve things. So I'm going to suggest that book. The next thing I want to say is, in March, right after Leeds, I decided to become an executive again. And I decided to do it as quickly as I could, because I really need the income. I quit a job in February. It was around $70,000 a year, and I need that income. So I decided I had to think about, what did you do to get there the last time? I was actually an executive for 10 years. What did you do to get there the last time? And I thought, okay, what did I do? Well, I used programs and all that, which is great, but a program is not going to develop a director. A program is great, and it's a great resource for you, but you and the connections you make with people are going to develop people. So I basically started to think about embracing change. And I'm an old school person, so I embraced Facebook more. Facebook coaching, Facebook messaging. I embraced virtual shows. Charlotte was a hot person on the scene. I'm like, who's Charlotte? I think Judy Joel may have said, contact Charlotte. I'm sorry, Charlotte. And I found out about her virtual shows. So in May, I threw myself into learning virtual shows. And then I taught them to my team. And I've been doing virtual shows. I've done about 30 of them now. My team loves them, and we are recruiting like crazy from virtual shows, because a lot of people have full-time jobs or they've got little kids at home and they feel like it's convenient for them to do virtual shows. So if you're not really following that whole virtual show scene, I think you're missing the boat. And I know we've talked about this, maybe not the 10-day format is good for you, maybe a 5-day, but maybe even just doing live presentations. It's the wave of the future. So I think we all need to get on board with doing virtual shows. I made the goal in March, a team goal, to add 200 people to my team, and we're at 170. I know, is that amazing? I started March with 4 directors, and we have 11. So I'm actually promoting a director this month. And she is an oldie, moldy like me. And it's interesting because I'm embracing the change in the virtual shows. So we are actually getting a lot of excited young women on our team that are wanting to do virtual shows. And the excitement is so contagious that we're actually recruiting, and we got our second fast track director. So now I'm setting up the groups just like Charlotte. I'm doing the destination director, and I'm doing a fast track group on Facebook. I've also embraced Zoom, and Zoom is amazing. How many of you use Zoom? Yeah, see, you're like way ahead of me. So I'm just embracing Zoom and doing Zoom calls. And what I like about the Facebook the Facebook media and the Zoom calls is that if I have a director that calls me and says, hey, I have a brand new consultant, and she's asking a million questions. Can we jump on a Zoom call today at 2? Absolutely. So I'm available to do that. And so then I'm really coaching downline as well. So the culture on our team right now is this person does not know a whole lot yet. I'm learning the ropes of everything, so you don't have to have your act together to create enthusiasm. And that's what I want to say. We have so much enthusiasm on our team right now because we're fast-tracking people and we're, get behind the fast track. Gosh, $500, And I have a lot of people on my team that need money. So that's a definite carrot to dangle. I'm also trying to get my directors involved, and so most of them are involved with what I'm doing. And on our Facebook page, we have our Shooting to the Stars board that I take pictures of and post. And everything that you've heard today basically is what I'm doing. I'm following the people that are actually getting a lot of success, and I'm seeing a lot of success myself. So specifically, just very quickly, anything else? I'm just trying to think of what else I'm not doing that you've already heard, because basically I have a list of 10 things, and most of it is what these ladies just talked about.
Mary, do your 10 things.
Oh, okay. Embrace change. Absolutely. If you're stuck, you need to embrace change, because that's going to cause you to feel enthusiastic. Not kidding. So embrace change. Number 2 is start a virtual show training group. What I found was it's very hard to get people on the phone at the same time. So I'm doing virtual show training groups where I dump people in the group and I'm posting, and then I'm doing one-on-one. So it's not just leaving them in a group to read the post, but then you follow up with one-on-one. But to disseminate the information, to me, that's just a quick way to do it. So I'm doing that. I began a director-bound program in April with 2 people on my team, because that was about all I could really find. I hadn't recruited a lot of new blood. So I started a director-bound program. I used the old director-bound information was on the website. Now we have brand new, which is great. I took what I liked from it. I added my own information, and I added things from leads. And I took those ladies through 3 sessions only on Thursday for 1 hour. Because what I found was one was very negative. Oh, I've tried that. Oh, that doesn't work. That kind of thing. And the other one was a sponge. So she was listening to all this negativity. So after three calls, I separated them. And I started to do one-on-one. And I found Harriet, who was the sponge, actually just took off. And Marcia, who was negative, had a tougher time. So I reached down and I started working one-on-one with her team. She actually had 2 people on her team. One of them ended up recruiting, and then she recruited again. And this is like getting Marcia now excited. And one of Mary's recruits recruited. So Marcia actually has 7 people on her team. Not because she's really done anything, because I did it, but to me that's okay. Because now she's developing the belief, and now she wants to train. She wants to learn. It was kind of a little bit backwards that if you've got somebody that's got people on their team, start working with those people, because it works. So Harriet actually wanted to walk the stage, and so she did. July 1st, she became a director, and Marcia is qualifying this month. So out of those 2 people, both of them are becoming directors. Really, the moral of that story is the one-on-one coaching. When you coach one-on-one, you can see the insecurities that people show. When you're talking about bookings or recruiting or what they're doing at their show, you can hear the insecurities. So it's really easy for you to say, well, have you thought about it this way? Or one time I remember Harriet was not feeling good about herself, and I said, before we talk the next time, I want you to send me an email with 5 things you love about yourself, 5 things you know you're great at. And she did. So it was boosting her confidence, and the one-on-one was a great way to do that. I try to celebrate every success. Everybody that recruits gets celebrated on our Facebook page. The recruiter gets celebrated. We make a big deal about that. I have little senior consultant pins that I'm now sending when they're senior consultant title. I send a team leader pin when they become a team leader, just so that they have their little pin on their apron. One of the people that became a senior consultant posted her new apron that she earned in September, and she had her little pin on there, and she posted the picture to the team page. You know, consultants love that, and they will get behind you with enthusiasm. And when they're posting that, someone else is going to say, how'd you get that senior consultant pin? You know, so they really excite each other. One thing that I'm going to share very quickly is on Facebook sometimes, other directors or other executives will post maybe a recruiting post that they posted their personal page. And one was for a seasonal consultant. Did you all see that one? I think Paula Brockner posted that on her personal page. And so we took it and we tweaked it a little bit and we used it. And we got 2 recruits out of that one. So just posting a seasonal, we're looking for seasonal consultants. I think it was something like you can make $25 to $50 an hour, set up your own time. If you want to just work from home, you can do virtual shows, that kind of thing. And we actually had 2 people respond to that ad. One of my directors posted it on a business page that she's on. So somebody definitely signed up, and then another person in her neighborhood. She has just a neighborhood community page, Facebook page she's on, she posted there. And someone actually was looking for a job for the season. So, you know, use every asset you can, especially from people that have already developed some amazing things. And then I'm just going to suggest you mentor deep. You need to really reach down into your team, because you've got gems down there that maybe haven't been asked if they want to be a director. They just need you to believe in them and maybe help them through some of the rough times in their life. I am not afraid to get personal with my team. They know a lot about me, and I know a lot about them. So I think it's important, at least for my personality style, because I'm social, interpersonal, and I love people. I really do, and I love to know about people. And so when I'm texting or Facebook messaging, I may not even ask a business question. I may just say, how's your daughter doing? Or how's your daughter's baby doing? Or something like that. I think Carol Redu said last night, people don't really listen to you until they know how much you care. And that is definitely a motto in my office. People don't care until they know how much you care. And I think that when you really do care about people, it comes forth. And they trust you and believe you. And then they want to follow you. And they want to follow your advice. I'm going to leave you with 2 things. You cannot perform in a manner inconsistent with the way you see yourself. So if you see yourself as a person who just can't promote, who never will promote, who's never going to be an executive, so then guess what? That's probably going to happen. So if you see yourself as someone who has amazing qualities, and you know, what's to stop you from being a Nancy Jo Ryan or a Carol Redu? What's to stop you from doing that? No one's going to stop you but you. So think about that. Remember that failure is an event, not a person. And don't count the things that you do the things that count. And the last thing I'm going to share is Jeremiah 29. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future.